everybody. Welcome to our third installment of the Yeti Cave radio show. I'm Alex Nicholas.
And I'm Max Willis.
And today we're strictly talking Olympics. Still no Avalanche games to be played until later on next week. But what has been your biggest surprise in the Olympic hockey so far?
The biggest surprise. Are we going to be talking about single games? Because I got to say, the game that Latvia put up in the past two games before Canada took them down was amazing. Their goaltending was just unmatched. 55 saves.
Yeah, I have to agree. I was going to say that goalie just shut down the entire. I feel bad for him. He should have had the win by himself.
Oh yeah, I mean he actually did burn out. Like they had to come in and they had to cool him down because he was just on fire. They had to pull him out, and I think that's the reason why Latvia lost. Right when they pulled him out, they scored one goal in the backup, and that was all they had. But still, it proved that a team like Latvia just couldn't, you wouldn't expect Latvia to do that. But Latvia did it, and that gives me hope for future teams to face Canada.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what does that make you feel about Canada? Because what I've seen, I haven't been too impressed with from Canada. I haven't really seen. I think Drew Doughty's been their best player. I think he leads the team in goals if I'm not mistaken.
Drew Doughty and Shea Weber are the top scoring men right now for Team Canada. And with the huge loss of John Tavares, I don't know. This team is stacked to the limit, but really, it's all about their teamwork, and they haven't been having it yet. They need to find it, but Babcock keeps switching up these lines that really, I don't know what the heck is going on in his mind.
I don't know. I think he's done as a coach, in my opinion. I think his time has come, and I don't know. This team should not be struggling nearly this bad. They were picked to be the clear winners, but I don't know. Today's game will tell. But before we get to that game, let's talk about some other previous ones. Sweden 5-0 over Slovenia. Any surprise there?
No.
No. There's nothing you can really say.
Nothing you can say. I mean, in the beginning of the game, Slovenia put up a nice little competition, but then after, just later on, Sweden just put on the big boy pants and just took them to town. It was just desolation at that end.
And then Finland 3-1 over Russia. I'll be honest, I don't think I was surprised as some people were.
Not surprised at all. I knew Russia. After I saw Finland play, I knew Russia was going to lose. They had too much pressure on him. But how about that coach? I can't stand that coach putting all the blame on Ovechkin.
Asking him,
that was just.
Well, I can't be too mad at him though. I mean, two of the premier players in the Olympics in their home countries. I believe Ovechkin was an ambassador. I mean, you should have a little bit of stress on him. I mean, he certainly should have done better. But the coach, I don't think has any room to talk because I don't think he did a great job.
Coach.
I don't think he did a great job himself.
He switched up the goalies after every game. He didn't keep a consistent one like the United States kept Jonathan Quick in. But no, they just did not have it with them. It was kind of, honestly, it was just watching a bad dream for those guys. Those guys did absolutely nothing.
I'm looking at the Russian player statistics here, and the only player that really sticks out to me is I think Radulov has 6 points, 3 goals, and 3 assists, and I don't even think he played that good.
No, he's the reason the United States won. He's the reason why the United States won.
So if you want to be bold, he might be the sole reason that Russia is out of it because they wouldn't have had to play those 2 games.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't have had to play whoever.
It might not be just
Norway.
It might just not be about the points right now for him and picking up 3 goals and 3 assists.
3 goals, 3 assists in 5 games.
That's just, man.
And Evgeny Malkin and Ovechkin though, I go back to that. I can't believe it. I mean, these guys are usually on fire playing together. Ovechkin just a goal and an assist in 5 games. That's what happened there. He had 24 shots on goal.
If you saw what their game plan was, it was individual. They did not play the team game that their other opponents played. They might have beat Norway, but who didn't beat Norway? I was surprised that it was 4-0. I thought it would be at least 2-0.
It should have.
They got 2 more goals than they should have been. And then taking on Finland, I knew they were going to get crushed because Finland has been playing a team game, and that is why they are at the top right now. Currently, I think, is it Finland and Sweden who are actually playing right now? Or is that game over?
That game's over. Sweden won that one.
Sweden won that one?
Yeah, they did.
Was it a close match at least?
Let me check. I think it was it 2-1? Yeah, it was 2-1, yes.
I knew it was going to be close. Those two teams were just unmatched against each other. Finland, against Russia, though, they played such a good team game that I can't even, stand that even Russia thinking that they were gold medal, people thinking Russia were gold medal contenders, they weren't.
I think in the beginning, though, before the play started, I think maybe they were, but I mean, right after I saw the first game, I gave up all hopes of that. I mean, going into the Olympics, you think home country, Russians, Ovechkin, Malkin, Varlamov, you think all those names, and you're going to think a winner, but I don't know. After I saw that first game, my thoughts on Russia went way down.
This is basically nearly the same team as last Winter Olympics, and I thought to myself, these guys didn't even medal. I don't even think these guys are going to medal. I love Evgeny Malkin and I love Alexander Ovechkin, both great players, but they need to work as a team, and that's what they're going to have to go into next time, and get a new coach while you're at it, because that guy was just awful. Literally, I cannot stand him.
Well, with Finland beating Russia and Sweden beating Slovenia, Sweden beating Finland, Sweden advancing to the medal game. How far do you think Sweden will go? They still have to play the winner of the Canada-US game, but what are your thoughts on Sweden?
The one is, Canada is the only... I think Canada right now is the only team that has played Sweden and Finland. They won against both. But right now, I think they won against both.
Oh, let me check that.
But,
Well, we'll come back to that. I'll find it.
Sweden and Finland, United States hasn't played any of them, so it's going to be a new experience for whichever team play. If they play United States, whoever plays them is going to have a new experience. It could be in the bronze medal game, it could be in the gold medal game. But right now, I think those two were highly... It actually kind of makes me laugh to look at these two final games with Sweden and Finland and Canada and the United States, because honestly, those two could have been gold medal games on their own part.
Yes, they could. I agree with
right
that.
now, if you could have put them in the gold medal and you could have put the other one in the bronze medal, these were honestly the four teams that I was looking at to make it this far.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I think these are easily the four best teams in a tournament and easily deserve to be here. Oh, and like we said at the top of the show, Canada's 2-1 win over Latvia advanced them to the semifinals. But what about U.S.'s win over the Czech Republic, 5-2, that got them to the semifinal round?
They looked amazing.
They looked great. I only got to see part of the game, but what I saw, they looked, again, quick. They looked, not the player quick, but they looked fast, physical. Again, they looked like everything that you want an Olympic team to be.
It looked like they were really pissing off Jaromir Jagr, too, because every time they would send him out, they would send out the line of Dustin Brown, David Backes, and I believe Ryan Kessler, and those three were just full-on attack on those guys. You would see...
Brown scares the hell out of me.
Oh, he's a vicious player.
You couldn't pay me to get out there with him.
No, him and David Backes together were just roughing him up and just pissing him off to no end. And it was just great.
And what about Phil Kessel leading the team in points? Any surprise there? 8 points in 4 games, 5 goals, 3 assists.
No, you gotta love the Phil. The Phil is life. He is amazing.
I knew I'd set you up with that one. We got a pretty big Phil Kessel fan in our hands here for
everybody needs to be a Phil Kessel fan. That dude might not have the looks, but you need to know. He is a top quality player that everyone needs to keep on their watch list, because he's in Toronto. Not many people watch Toronto because not a lot of people like Toronto. But he's up there, and he's a damn good player.
I think Joe Pavelski's been good too. Patrick Kane, Pavelski 5 points, Kane 4. I mean, I think if they keep up what they've done in the last couple of games, there's no reason they can't beat Canada today at noon. Mm-hmm. And do you agree? What's your take on that game today? Canada-US.
Canada, if they get their shit together, they could definitely play a good quality game. But right now, the United States has the team play, the speed, the physicality, and the goaltending of which you need to take down a team such as Canada. If Canada is still in disarray whenever those two teams play, I believe the United States will take it. Probably, I think it's going to be reverse score: USA 3, Canada 2.
It's going to be close regardless of who wins, but I think if Canada plays anything like they have and USA has played anything like they have, I think this game should be in the bag for the U.S., but you have to feel it's only a matter of time kind of thing before Canada breaks out. And what better team would they like to break out against than the United States?
Yeah.
All we need is another Crosby dagger to the heart overtime goal, and I probably would jump off the 10th Street Bridge. So.
I'd be right there next to you. That'd be soul crushing again, knowing that a Pittsburgh Penguin just destroyed hopes again.
Well, back to Crosby. I mean, 2 points in 4 games, just 2 assists. Another player I don't understand. And the guy was tearing it up in the National Hockey League. And is he just getting not enough chances, not enough time? I just don't think. My opinion is I just don't think everyone looks good out there together. They're not gelling quite like Russia did. They didn't look like a whole to me.
Them and Russia are 2 key examples of you can always put together superstars, but will they work together? And that is now a no. Sidney Crosby has been playing a great game team-wise. He's been throwing his body around, he's been taking shots, he's been passing a lot. Not a lot of those passes have turned into chances, but he's giving everyone just these incredible plays. And that's the difference. Mike Babcock has been continuously switching these lines, which is just screwing everybody up. As Sidney Crosby is a man, he will play with anyone, and he can make anyone good, but it's how those players that he's playing with adapt to him. Sidney Crosby is a quick lightning player who will pass on the point, and those point passes will be perfect. But those other players are not ready for it because the quick action of Sidney Crosby is just a completely different experience. Chris Kunitz and Pascal Dupuis are used to it by now, so I don't know why Chris Kunitz isn't playing with him. That's the reason. I believe that's the reason why Chris Kunitz. They
haven't really gave Kunitz a chance. I think they should have kept Kunitz with Crosby because, like you said, not many players are used to it. And you keep someone like Kunitz who is, he's tipped in some of those passes from Crosby hundreds of times. I mean, I don't know. I really think this team was just miscoached. If that's the word I'm looking for. I just can't believe it. But like I said, Canada and U.S. today at noon. The winner's going to go on to the medal game to face Sweden. So, like I said, enormous pressure on the United States. They do not want to lose to Canada again. I can not stress that enough.
This is the moment for them where they set themselves apart. For years they've been taking second place and all that. Since 1980 have they not won a gold medal. I want them to have it this year. Just the team is built perfectly. They've all been meshing together. It's just incredible how well this team has been playing with each other. It's honestly like fitting a perfect puzzle together. Whoever built this team knew how to build the team right because they got everything perfect. Goaltending was spot on with Ryan Miller and Jonathan Quick. And I think it's Jimmy Howard that was their third pick.
Yeah.
They might not play him, but I mean he's still a good goaltender. But Ryan Miller and Jonathan Quick as a two-tandem, that is like an unstoppable brick wall.
Oh, easily I think we have the best goaltending in the Olympics.
Easily the best goaltending. And then you have such a defense that is just unstoppable, like who's been playing rough, hardcore game, including, let's see here, Cam Fowler has been surprising me like crazy.
Cam Fowler's been great. I mean, I'm looking at the roster. I really can't pick one player that I said, well, he could have done better, or he really didn't do anything. I mean, Van Riemsdyk, Suter, Kessler, I think every one of them played just as well as you could ask them to play at the Olympic level.
Even Paul Martin, he might not have registered a point, but if you've been watching him, he's been playing physical, stand-up defense.
Oh, did you hear Paul Martin won't be playing today?
Really?
He injured his hand. Well, he had an illness at first, and he injured his hand. Well, let's hope that injury doesn't keep him out of the lineup in the NHL. But yeah, I heard this morning that Paul Martin will not be playing tonight. Or today.
Who will be taking over for him then?
I'd have to.
Justin Falk.
Falk.
Oh, it's a good choice still.
It's not a bad backfall
Not
at
a bad
all.
backfall at all. I think he'd be doing well. But speedy recovery to Paul Martin, as he's been playing a physical game that we have been needing, along with Ryan Callahan, Ryan McDonough.
Well, I'm sure the Canadian locker room isn't sitting around going, "Oh, well, we got Paul Martin out now. Now it's going to be an easy win." Canada's probably so, but I mean, they got Shattenkirk on the blue line. Orpik, both guys could throw bone-crushing checks. I mean, I think that U.S. needs to come out fast, set the tone with a big hit, let Canada know that we're not taking any of this. Mm-hmm. This game is ours. It's not 2010.
And the players that I think are going to come out starting huge, are going to be probably Ryan Callahan, Dustin Brown, and David Backes. They're going to be the ones that come out and just throw their body around and just start taking these Canadians just to town, just keep them up, and hopefully just keep their spirits down.
If you had to pick one X Factor player for today's game, it could either be from the U.S. or Canada, which player do you think is going to be the difference maker, the overall most important player, the X Factor, if I may?
I gotta say, the X Factor right now, honestly, is going to be their offensive weapon, Phil Kessel, who has been the scoring leader for them and has been playing an incredible game so far. He's been punishing and dangerous. His offensive threat right now is at an all-time high, and you just can't stop a man like that. And if I had to pick someone else back second, Jonathan Quick. He's going to need to stand on his head to play against the Canadians.
I'm hard pressed to pick one, but I can't stop looking at Zach Parise. I don't think anyone wants it more than Zach Parise.
After being in the last Olympics like that and just being so close. But Zach Parise is a forward that I think they all get behind. He is a quality leader who has been playing a pretty good. He was not playing pretty good. He's been playing a great game. So
as the stats show, he only has one goal and he's a -1. But I don't read too much into that. I mean, from what I've seen, the guy gives 110%.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta see, his time played compared to everyone else is just insanity. He's been out on that ice continuously. Him and Ryan Sutter have continuously been on that ice to just play their hearts out and just crush.
Parise is logging about 17 minutes per game, which is, I think, he well deserved. But my X factor is going to be Parise. Now, if you had to pick one for Canada, I'm set for both. But if you had to pick a player in Canada, that's either going to make or break them.
Jonathan Toews.
Toews?
I believe he has been Canada's best player.
Oh, easily. From all the games I've seen.
He's the only one who has been keeping a consistent line with him, Carter, and I believe it's Sharp. Those three have been really good lately. So, I mean, if you want to stop Canada, I believe you got to stop Toews' line. Him and Jeff Carter have just been dominating, and it's just crazy to watch them.
I want to say Shea Weber and Drew Doughty, though, two defensemen, are leading the team in goals. I mean, Jeff Carter has 3, but other than that, I mean, 1 goal here, 1 goal there. I mean, they're going to have to pick it up offensively without a doubt if they're going to have any chance of beating the U.S. But one thing that does scare me with Jonathan Taves out, or Tavares, I'm sorry, they're going to bring in Matt Duchene today, and I think that could be a bit. I mean, U.S. has speed, but I think Matt Duchene has unmatched speed.
Oh,
I mean, he's only played 2 games of these Olympics so far. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be fast. So I think he's an overlooked player. I think the U.S. is going to have to keep an eye on Duchene.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But right now I'm looking at this. This is the roster for Team Canada right now. I'm looking at it, and I have to say, they might have a lot of plus-minus points right now, but the spread for the points is not that much to show that they're not really playing as much as a team game as Team USA, because I think only one person on Team USA does not have a point registered. That's Paul Martin. But he's been playing a great team game. I'm surprised he doesn't have at least 1 assist. But the points here are so spread out between like 1 point and 6 and 5 for the 6 and 5 are the two highest scores right now. Only one player has each of those.
One more player, actually. I didn't know his goals against average was as good as it was, but Carey Price, it's a .99, about a goal a game. It's three wins, no losses. I think the U.S. is going to have to get to him. They're going to have to put a lot of pucks on goal.
I mean, Carey Price is an amazing goaltender, but I think if you get in his head, easily, you could just attack him. Right before the Olympic break, the Pittsburgh Penguins took him on. I believe the score was 5-1.
Oh yeah,
And
he's a player that you could really. I mean, he's a great player, world class player, but I think he's one of the guys that you could really get underneath his head, make him. Even though you shouldn't at the Olympic level, but I think if we get to him quick, we play like we have. I think. I'm confident. I really think the U.S. could win this game, and should.
I believe they
win
can
this game.
I can believe they. I don't know if they should. I'm hoping they should, but right now I don't. I believe that they can win this game.
I'm just hoping Canada doesn't decide to break out against them. But
I'm really hoping that doesn't happen.
Speaking of Canada, U.S., what about the heartbreaking loss for the U.S. women's team, up 2-0, under 3 minutes left to go?
That was heartbreaking to watch, as those girls played so hard all year long, and to have their dreams taken down by Team Canada. It's exactly like 2010, but you know what? Hopefully, if the men's win beat Canada this year, we can hopefully go into the 2018 Winter Olympics, knowing that this could just be the same exact thing of the United States beating Canada that year for the women. They are an incredible team, and I believe that they are way better than Team Canada.
For those of you who don't know that game, I believe U.S. was up 2-0 with under 3 minutes left to go. Canada scored one, pulled their goalie, and with an empty net, the U.S. came down the ice, rang it off the post. Canada brought it back up, tied it with under a minute to go, and then won it in overtime. I mean, my heart sank. I couldn't.
And there were some ticky-tacky penalty calls, like that slash. That was.
I forgot about the penalties, actually.
That was just ridiculous to call that a slash.
Now, do you think this is going to help? What team do you think this will help more of the men's? Do you think the U.S. men's are going to go, we're going to win this one for the girls, or do you think the men's Canada team is going to be, we got to upstage them, we got to win now too? Who do you think? What do you think? Do you think that plays a part in today's game?
I think it's going to play a part. I think Canada is going to play exactly how Russia feel, that they're going to that they have so much pressure on them now to win, that we might see them make some easy mistakes, like Russia just fell apart. I don't think that's going to happen to Canada, but I do believe Canada's going to make some simple mistakes that the United States can take part on. The United States seems like a team that has been really just there to play hockey as together. And I gotta say that it is just something that I really, really would like for Team United States to win with.
Well, the men's team, like I said in a couple of shows ago, that no one really gave them a chance. Like most of the NHL writers, I know Barry Melrose, they all picked the top three, and all the top threes were pretty much the same. They were Canada, Sweden, Russia, Sweden, Canada, and I didn't see the U.S. was only in maybe, I believe, one of the 10 predictions on NHL.com, and I, for the life of me, couldn't understand why.
Oh.
I don't know what they weren't seeing. I knew U.S. was going to be good, and maybe I didn't know if they were going to win gold off the bat, but I knew they were going to medal. But I mean, even if the U.S. It's bad to think. Say the U.S. does not win today, they still need to play Finland in a bronze medal game, which I think would be just as hard as playing Sweden if they won.
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. has no easy way out of this. They have to play Canada today. If they win, they play Sweden. If they lose, they play Finland. Both teams could really come to play. The U.S. is not catching a break here.
I am thinking of just one fun advantage that United States has over Canada, and that is Danny Bilesma.
Danny B.
The coach of Sidney Crosby from Team Canada, who probably knows a lot of Crosby's ways. Maybe he could help them out for that moment, but right now, Danny Bilesma could be the big part of anything United States does right now against Team Canada, against Team Finland, or against Team Sweden. Hopefully, Team Sweden.
And one thing, it was a heartbreaking day when Finland lost to Sweden this morning. Teemu Selanne's possibly last Olympic game ever, but I watched some of the game before I came in today, and he put it all on the line. He knew it was his last game. That guy, he might not be everyone's favorite player, but if you don't respect him, if he's not the most respected player, then you got issues.
He's an incredible player, and everyone he came out with his heart. It was some great time. It was some good for him. Good play for him, and I'm glad to see him get back into that swing of things. So hopefully he can bring that momentum into the NHL, because he wasn't have the best of NHL seasons either.
All right, I think this will wrap it up for us here on the Yeti Cave radio show. Like I said, stay tuned at noon Eastern. It'll be 10 Mountain Time for the Canada-US game. I'll be on NBC Sports Center. And that will do it for us here. And I'm Alex Nicholas.
I'm Max Willis.
And go USA. We'll be back next Friday. Have a nice day, everybody.